Quick! What are you quacking about? Dumb Donald Dodo!
This is for the 4th grade.
Huh? What do you mean?
What do I mean? What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean underpants, mister. That's what I mean.
Oh, man, this hurts.
Really? That bad?
I think it's time to kick you in the nuts and see which is worse.
As great as the cast of Friends was, some of the best moments on the show didn't belong to them. Throughout the show, dozens of guest stars dropped in for a single episode, but somehow walked away with the most memorable moments. Some were big Hollywood stars, others were unknown actors, but every single one managed to steal the spotlight. So who were these scene stealers? And which guest appearance was the most unforgettable? Join us as we unveil 30 guest stars who totally stole the show on Friends.
That was just my crazy friend. She told me I should get off the plane because she had a feeling that there was something wrong with the left phalange.
Okay, that doesn't sound good.
Number 30, Jim Rash. Before his iconic role as Dean Craig Pelton on the cult comedy series Community, Jim Rash was a nervous plane passenger on the last ever episode of Friends, who overheard Rachel's phone call to a panicked Phoebe, who then inadvertently convinces everyone to evacuate. His involvement in the final episode added some much-needed comedy relief during the last ever Will They Won't They storyline of Ross and Rachel, where Rachel gives up an incredible job opportunity overseas so that she can be with a man who is arguably the least likable member of the main crew. If Jim just kept his mouth shut, maybe Rachel would probably be living a much more fulfilling life. But what happens when Rachel's chaotic love life runs into someone who isn't afraid to call it out?
But you say you love this man, and yet you're about to ruin the happiest day of his life. I'm afraid I have to agree with your friend Phoebes.
Number 29. Hugh Laurie. Hugh is known as the brilliantly sarcastic Dr. House on House, but before that, he brought that same cutting wit to Friends. He appeared in Season 4's finale as a passenger sitting next to Rachel on her flight to London, where she was about to crash Ross's wedding. In the show, as Rachel nervously rambled on and on about her love life, Hugh's character finally snapped impatiently and delivered one of the funniest and most brutally honest speeches in the show's history. He became that voice of reason every viewer was secretly cheering for as a result of his deadpan delivery, subtle expressions, and perfect comedic timing. So what could possibly top a brutally honest stranger roasting Rachel mid-flight? Number 28. Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was one of Friends' biggest guest spots, with Matthew Perry once again being the reason that the show managed to snag this A-lister. Bruce allegedly lost a bet to Matthew while filming The Whole 9 Yards, resulting in his appearance on the sitcom classic. Bruce Willis played Paul Stevens, the intimidating father of Ross's young girlfriend, Elizabeth, who later starts dating Rachel. Willis brought his signature tough guy charm but leaned into the comedy, showing a surprisingly goofy side. He later donated his entire fee to charity and picked up an Emmy for his trouble. Contrary to what many believe about the Hollywood A-lister losing a bet with Matthew Perry and having to appear as a guest on the show as a forfeit, Bruce did lose a bet, but he actually openly accepted the role as one of Rachel's Season 6 love interests. Plus, his time on the show also spanned 3 episodes, making him one of the most familiar guests on the show. Does this mean all the great stars enjoyed their time on the show? Number 27. Jennifer Coolidge. Jennifer Coolidge opened up about her one-time role on Friends' final season. She played an obnoxious former acquaintance of Phoebe and Monica's named Amanda Buffamontesi. As the actor settled into her quirky role, she put on a British accent and recited some unusual lines, like, "touch my abs" and "smell my neck." One would think that the character would be nothing but fun for a hilarious actor like Coolidge. However, that was apparently not the case. Coolidge brought all her comedic chops to the table. However, the set environment was still intimidating for her. She said herself that I was kind of intimidated even though she knew Lisa because she was in a comedy group, but didn't know the rest of them, and it was very intimidating because they were all so attractive and had it going on. She also highlighted the glamorous set, sharing that it didn't feel like a sitcom. Instead, it really did feel like a movie set, and everyone had a very good-looking entourage. Fans of the show all know the problem, but was there someone who wasn't scared to point it out? Number 26. Christina Applegate. When fans were first introduced to Rachel's spoiled younger sister Amy, it was clear that chaos runs in the Green family. Christina's brutally honest, self-absorbed, and absolutely clueless Amy is everything one would expect from the sister who can't even remember Ross's name. Originally, Reese Witherspoon was meant to return as Jill, but when she wasn't available, Applegate stepped in and totally stole the spotlight. Her performance was awesome, so good that it earned her an Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Comedy Series. Sure, she was annoying, but she was also hilarious. Her presence proved that Rachel may have been beautiful, but she wasn't the only diva in her family. The actress said the funniest moment from her pair of episodes was the siblings' fight after Amy takes offense to Rachel's revelation that Amy wouldn't be given custody of baby Emma in the event of Ross and Rachel's deaths. A year after her Emmy win for Friends, she was again nominated for reprising the role in the series' final season. While Rachel's sister brought chaos, what happens when one of the biggest movie stars in the world shows up just to get ready for revenge? Number 25. Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts made her Friends debut early on in the series in Season 2, where she starred as a childhood friend of Chandler, Susie Moss. Julia was already a rising star in Hollywood when she made her guest cameo on the show with Matthew Perry, allegedly writing a paper on quantum physics in order to persuade her to make an appearance. The two actors even had such chemistry on set that they ended up dating in real life, even if the episode ended with Susie purposely. Speaking about chemistry, the next star had a rather short appearance, but is now unforgettable. Number 24. Jane Lynch. Long before she became Sue Sylvester on Glee, Jane Lynch popped up in the final season of Friends as the no-nonsense real estate agent showing Monica and Chandler their dream house. Her cameo was very short, but even in that brief moment that she had, Jane immediately brought out her dry humor and commanding presence that helped her steal the moment. One can already see the comedic precision that would make her one of the most recognizable TV personalities of the 2000s. Jane was the only one who could turn a two-line role about mortgages into a memorable laugh. Before some actors became comedy legends, others were already famous long before stepping into Central Perk, like the star of Dirty Dancing, Jennifer Grey.
The truth is, at the end of the day, I still really want to be Mrs. Dr. Barry Farber.
Number 23. Jennifer Grey. Baby, the star from Dirty Dancing, once appeared on Friends. Jennifer played Mindy, Rachel's old best friend, who was set to marry Barry, the same man Rachel famously left at the altar. Their reunion was, to say the least, awkward, funny, and just a little bit painful, and it perfectly balanced comedy and cringe. The scene Jennifer appeared in shone because of her charm and comedic instincts. She proved that she could handle Friends-style humor with ease. For those who don't know, Mindy was later recast with someone else, but Grey's version remains the definitive one for fans who caught the original episode. Of course, Friends also loved bringing in comedians who could steal a scene in just a few seconds. And that's exactly what Craig Robinson did. Number 22. Craig Robinson. The man known for cracking jokes in The Office and Hot Tub Time Machine once appeared on Friends in a brief but hilarious scene. In the show, when Phoebe decided it was okay for her to legally change her name, she visited a government office where Craig played the ultra-deadpan Clark, processing her request. Calm is what many people expect of such a worker, but Craig's calm reactions to Princess Canuela Banana Hammock only made the moment 10 times funnier. It was as quick as it was simple, but it showcased the gold in Craig's dry sense of humor. But some guest stars didn't just appear for a quick laugh, they became full storylines, like the director of Iron Man.
The day will come when children will argue over who will win a fight, me or Superman. Now, I'm not saying I could beat Superman, but, kids are stupid.
Number 21. Jon Favreau. This one might be shocking, but it's true. Fans of Iron Man and MCU know everything about the movies, from the directing to the casting. But one thing they may not know is that before directing Iron Man and launching the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, Jon Favreau also appeared on Friends. He played one of Monica's most memorable boyfriends, tech millionaire Pete Becker. The show portrayed him as smart, successful, and absolutely convinced he could become the next UFC champion. Monica tried to be supportive right up until he showed up with a face full of bruises. When one compares Favreau's comedic timing with Monica's horrified reactions, it's clear that their storyline was one of the funniest love-gone-wrong arcs in Friends history. While one future Marvel mastermind was busy getting beat up in the ring, the next guest star was already one of TV's most beloved heartthrobs. Number 20. John Stamos. Who doesn't know the lovable Uncle Jesse from Full House? John appeared on the show, guest starring as Zach, Chandler's co-worker and potential sperm donor. The highlight was when Monica and Chandler invited him over for dinner, and things went off the rails almost instantly. Monica interrogated him with questions about family medical history, mental illness, and fertility. Needless to say, John was scared half to death. All he could do was to laugh nervously and make polite attempts to escape the conversation, making the whole scene hysterically awkward and totally unforgettable. Of course, Friends didn't just bring in sitcom icons, it also introduced audiences to future TV stars before they became household names. Number 19. Kristen Davis. Kristen's breakout role was in Sex and the City, and many people know her as Charlotte from the movie. But in the 7th season of Friends, she appeared as Erin, one of Joey's rare love interests with actual girlfriend potential. She stuck out as a rarity in Joey's dates, and she was fun, down to earth, and completely at ease around the gang. Many people thought the chemistry between her and Matt LeBlanc felt natural and warm, which made it even funnier and sadder when she ended things because there was no spark. So even the perfect date didn't last. If you think Joey's dating life was awkward, wait until you meet the boyfriend who was just a little too happy about everything. Number 18. Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin guest starred as Parker, Phoebe's cheerful boyfriend from Massapequa, who finds everything amazing. His character was rather unique. He was upbeat, enthusiastic, and relentlessly positive in the most irritating way possible. The first time anyone met him, they instantly caught his wide-eyed optimism, which did nothing but drive everyone crazy, and it's brilliant. It's one of those roles where one can tell the cast is barely holding it together, trying not to laugh. Alec is known for his trademark, but here, he swapped it for genuine cheer, making Parker the kind of guy you love in small doses. While some guest stars brought over-the-top personalities, others helped deliver one of the most heartfelt storylines in the entire series. Like Anna Faris. Number 17. Anna Faris. Before ever getting the opportunity to lead the house bunny and mom, Anna Faris appeared in the final season of Friends as Erica, the young woman who carried Monica and Chandler's twins. The couple was known for their frantic energy, so Anna's sweet but slightly naive personality was a needed balance in the family. In every scene she appeared in, Faris brought warmth, humor, and genuine heart. It reminded fans of why this finale storyline felt like such a perfect ending for the series. Even in her short time on screen, she showed the comedic chops that would soon make her a household name. Long before some actors became huge sitcom stars themselves, they were just showing up for one chaotic date on Friends. Number 16. Melora Hardin. Melora Hardin was Jan Levinson on The Office, and she totally nailed it. But before then, she appeared as a guest star in the very first season of Friends as Celia, the woman Ross takes out on a date that quickly went wrong. Between Marcel, the monkey's attack, and Celia's awkward request for Ross to talk dirty, the date went from romantic to disastrous in seconds. But Hardin's performance was rather hilarious and confident, so it can be said that she was a balanced guest. She played off Ross's nervous energy like a pro. If one is looking for a perfect mix, then it's physical comedy, verbal comedy, and cringe all rolled into one. Not every awkward date on Friends ended in disaster. Sometimes it just ended in pure confusion.
I was gonna have Thanksgiving at my girlfriend's.
Oh.
But we broke up.
Oh?
She wasn't ready for a serious commitment.
Oh.
Number 15, Michael Vartan. Michael, who played as a secret agent in Alias, appeared in the 3rd season of Friends as Timothy Burke, the son of Dr. Richard Burke, Monica's ex. And yes, that made him the guy Monica almost dated before realizing how weird it would be to date a son after dating his father. In just a few minutes of being on the show, Vartan showed off the same charm and awkward sincerity that would later make him one of TV's favorite leading men. The time when he nervously said, "I thought this was a date," was a moment in Friends that was purely awkward and a perfect warm-up for his romantic roles to come. Talk about true preparation. While some guest stars appeared in romantic storylines, others brought heartwarming moments that fans still remember. Number 14. Leah Remini. Leah Remini made her mark on Friends in the 1st season as Lydia, a pregnant woman whom Joey befriends at the hospital. While waiting for Ross's baby to be born, Joey comforts her through contractions in the most Joey way possible. Remini was instantly likable, and why not? She had a mix of sarcasm, sweetness, and vulnerability, which gave her a top spot in the list of guest stars made her instantly likable. It's easy to see why she went on to lead her own sitcom soon after. Speaking of memorable relationships, the next guest star caused one of the biggest friendship conflicts the show had ever seen.
Nick's pants?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think our second fight is going to be a big one.
Number 13. Paget Brewster. Paget was with the FBI on Criminal Minds, but before that happened, she stirred up quite some drama between Chandler and Joey when she appeared as Kathy, the woman who came between the best friends. Her performance added some real emotional weight to the story. She perfectly balanced comedy with tension and heartbreak, and somehow she had chemistry with both actors. The chemistry was so strong that it made the fallout feel genuinely painful and unforgettable, even though it was supposed to be a sitcom. She went from that girl from Friends to one of TV's most respected crime drama stars. If you thought emotional drama was intense, wait until you see what happens when Ross dates someone with a truly shocking secret.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Cheryl. I must have freaked out.
Oh, thank God it's not Mitzi. It's just a rat.
Number 12. Rebecca Romijn. Another superhero star, known widely as Mystique, the lady who turned blue in X-Men. Rebecca made her Friends debut as Cheryl, the dirty girl Ross dates in the 4th season. In the early stages of her appearance, she seemed perfect. She was gorgeous, charming, and seemingly normal. But once Ross visits her apartment, things quickly take a horrifying turn. The beautiful angel immediately turned filthy when the door to her place was opened. In case anyone is wondering how dirty, there were piles of trash, old food, and rats scurrying across the floor. Rebecca ignored all that and delivered every line with such confidence that even as fans were cringing, they couldn't stop laughing. It was messy, chaotic, and iconic, just like Ross's dating history. And sometimes the most memorable guest stars weren't huge celebrities at the time, they were actors just getting their very first big break. Number 11. TJ Thine. In the 100th episode of Friends, Thine appeared as a very young doctor assisting Phoebe during childbirth. Fun fact, this was his first ever credited TV role, and he nailed it. Playing the overly youthful, slightly nervous Dr. Oberman, his earnestness made the scene instantly funny. Fast forward a few years later, and that same mix of intelligence and heart would define him in Bones. From his debut on Friends to his breakout role, one could literally see his career beginning in that hospital room. He went on to star in many other roles. What happens when one of Hollywood's biggest heartthrobs decides to drop by Central Perk? Number 10. George Clooney. For years, fans of the show loitered over the hopes of seeing the beloved George Clooney take time out of his busy schedule to swing by Central Perk for a quick cup of coffee. As luck would have it, he actually did in The One with Two Parts. After Rachel fell from a balcony and sprained her ankle, Monica looked to secure dates with two of the hospital employees, one being Dr. Michael Mitchell, played by Clooney, with his ER co-star Noah Weil at his side. However, being oblivious to their inappropriate actions, both Rachel and Monica, unfortunately, failed to woo the doctor duo and send them running for the hills. Friends wasn't afraid to cast completely unexpected stars in unforgettable roles, and that's exactly what happened with Kathleen Turner. Number 9. Kathleen Turner. This one surprised many. Not the person, but the role she played. When Chandler's dad finally appeared, fans were curious to see who could possibly play him, and Kathleen Turner was cast. Surprisingly, with her signature husky voice and commanding presence, she nailed the role, bringing both humor and dignity to the role of Charles Bing. Kathleen has given multiple reports about her time on Friends. When she appeared on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, a viewer called in to ask about Turner's role as Chandler's father. Andy Cohen told Turner that the role was groundbreaking and ahead of its time. However, the actor said she wouldn't play the part now. Perhaps she was implying that the part would go to a drag queen or transgender actor. That being said, she seemed like she was okay with her past role. Now performing in Las Vegas as drag queen Helena Handbasket. Fans still remember that chemistry between Turner and Matthew Perry was both funny and touching. She really delivered the perfect blend of sass and warmth, and honestly, she rocked that feather boa better than anyone. But while some guest stars surprised fans with their casting, others leaned fully into the show's over-the-top comedy, like Susan. Number 8. Susan Sarandon. Even soap operas aren't safe from Friends' brand of chaos. Susan Sarandon guest starred as Cecilia Monroe, a Days of Our Lives legend whose character Jessica Lockhart was killed off. Susan plays one of Joey's fellow soap stars, whom he hooks up with during rehearsals. Yes, really. Sarandon perfectly parodies her dramatic soap persona and shows Joey how to own the room. Though brief, Sarandon's cameo alongside Matt LeBlanc earned her an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Guest Actress in a comedy series, Joey, a masterclass in overacting. Some of the funniest moments didn't come from huge stars, but from actors who stole the scene in just a few minutes. Number 7. Scott Adsit. Before his role in 30 Rock and his voice work in Big Hero 6, Scott Adsit had one of the most hilariously awkward Friends cameos ever. In the 7th season, he appeared as a casting director who had to inspect a nude Joey to make sure he was authentically uncircumcised for a period piece. He absolutely nailed the dry deadpan delivery, never breaking character as the absurdity unfolds. It's the kind of small but unforgettable moment that showed he was really destined to be a comedy mainstay. Speaking of deadpan, fans were flabbergasted when they found out what this next star did. Number 6. Winona Ryder. When fans found out that Rachel had once shared a kiss with an old sorority roommate, no one expected it to be with Winona Ryder. Well, technically it was with Melissa Warburton, but the point is, no one ever expected the Beetlejuice star to set aside time for the Central Perk locals, but her appearance remains one of the most iconic. The two end up sharing another kiss by the end of the night, which led to Melissa's reveal that she was in love with Rachel, which was sadly unreciprocated. While Winona's appearance was of course excellent, this episode is another sad example of the show's bad treatment of LGBT+ characters who had not aged well at all. The episode is one of the lowest-rated episodes of the entire series, as well as had an incredibly low viewership at the time of its release. Winona deserved much better, but occasionally, Friends would shock viewers by bringing in a massive movie star for one unforgettable moment. Number 5. Olivia Williams. The documentary. The Crown featured Olivia Williams ruling as Camilla Parker Bowles, but before she got that role, she first made an appearance in the 4th season of Friends as Felicity, Emily's bridesmaid, and Joey's cheeky British fling during Ross' London wedding. Olivia brought with her a flirty, witty energy to the episode, and she effortlessly held her own in the chaos of the London storyline. She made her scene feel delightfully British and totally unforgettable with her poised delivery and effortless humor. Sometimes the best guest appearances came from comedians who could turn chaos into comedy gold. Just like Ben Stiller. Number 4. Ben Stiller. Long before Ben Stiller cemented his name in the Hall of Hollywood Greats, he was tying up roles in flicks such as Disney's Heavyweights, Reality Bites, and Flirting with Disaster. Come 1997, and he made his Friends debut in the one-off episode The One with the Screamer. This guy looked normal at first until he opened his mouth. Ben Stiller guest starred as Tommy, the guy Rachel dates who has a serious anger problem. Only Ross can see his psychotic outbursts. He would yell at pigeons, old men, and pretty much anyone who breathes too loudly. There was a huge contrast between Rachel's calmness and Tommy's explosive tantrums, but that's precisely what made the scene absolutely unforgettable. That was Ben at his best. Charming one second, terrifying the next, and it's still one of the funniest guest spots in Friends history. But what happens when not one but two comedy legends randomly walk into Central Perk? Number 3. Robin Williams and Billy Crystal. Legendary comedians. Robin Williams and Billy Crystal made a small cameo appearance on the 3rd season. Friends as two friends having an intense argument in front of the main cast, ending with them both storming out of the iconic Central Perk Cafe. Robin and Billy's cameos were pure coincidence. The scene had no real structure to it, funnily enough. Rather than being formally invited to the show, both Williams and Crystal just dropped in between filming scenes for Father's Day in a nearby studio. Although it was entirely unscripted, it was still the work of two legends coming together to make off-the-cuff comedy gold. The entire scene was completely improvised and ad-libbed by the two, showing off their excellent comedy skills and making for a memorable moment in the show's history. However, even comedy legends couldn't outdo the moment when one Hollywood icon delivered one of the weirdest performances in Friends history. Number 2. Danny DeVito. One of the best sitcom scenes of all time still remains with Danny DeVito and his legendary striptease for Phoebe and Friends. Although only amounting to a few short minutes of screen time, his role as Roy was hands down one of the most memorable in all of the series. When Phoebe needed a stripper for her bachelorette party, she probably wasn't expecting Danny to show up, and that's exactly what makes it hilarious. DeVito's Officer Goodbody arrived in full police uniform. Despite the laughs, DeVito's emotional meltdown somehow made the scene both funny and kind of sad. It was a perfect mix of absurdity and ingenuity. And fun fact, DeVito earned an Emmy nomination for it too. If there's one guest appearance that fans still talk about decades later, it's this one.
I have a feeling my wife is sleeping with her gynecologist.
Number 1. Brad Pitt. It's hard to top this one. Brad Pitt's appearance as Will Colbert in The One with the Rumor remains one of the most iconic Friends moments ever. Will, a former classmate of Ross and Rachel, still holds a grudge from high school, especially against Rachel. Brad Pitt was without a doubt one of the most popular stars around the time Friends cast its 8th season. With Sesevenin, Fight Club, and Snatch already being under his belt, as well as Ocean's 11 in the works, the A-lister was sure to turn a few heads when popping in for a one-off episode. Many years later, Brad Pitt still remembers both positive and negative aspects of his appearance. Pitt was on an episode of the sitcom When He Was Married to Aniston. His character, Will Colbert, was an old friend of Ross and Monica's who joined the group for one of their memorable Thanksgivings. With so much distance between his one-off guest role and his current career, fans might be curious about what Pitt even remembers from the Friends episode. Do you think any of these stars should have gotten a full role? And which of them truly stole their scenes? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.